Nebraska's 3-4, 7 games down, 5 to go. They got to go 3-2 to make a bowl game. And so our guy, Fax, is asking the odds to make it to 6-6. You think better than that?
Well, yeah, I mean, it starts this Saturday, okay? You've got to come away from Minnesota with a win. Then you've got to beat Purdue. I think it's key that this team has got to be 5-4 going into those final 3 games of the season, which we know is murderer's row when it comes to Nebraska playing Ohio State, Wisconsin, and Iowa. So if you're not 5-4 going into those final 3 games, then I don't think you end up 6-6. I really don't, because something has drastically gone wrong if you're not beating teams that you should beat. And I'm not trying to take anything away from Minnesota or anything away from Purdue, but I think most of us can agree that Nebraska is a better team than both of those teams. Maybe not record-wise, but I think talent-wise, you see that on the field. So I think it's key right now, and I think they do beat the 2 teams we're talking about. And Wisconsin right now is a we don't really know what kind of a Wisconsin team we're going to see because they're not a typical Wisconsin team that we're used to seeing right now. So just to be, if you're playing the odds, those are your 3 wins right now, right there that you're needing. And then maybe you upset Ohio State or Iowa, which you both have them both at home. So I like those chances. Okay. I like the chances to make a bowl game with what they have remaining on their schedule.
Yeah, when it's all said and done, hopefully they can make a bowl game, of course, but especially since the Illinois game was what it was. It was played fair and square. It counts, but that may turn out to be the oddest and most deceiving score of the entire season in the Big Ten.
Yeah, probably is.
If those 2 teams got back together based on what Illinois shown us, yeah.
I think it's a totally different ballgame if they're playing today. I mean, the way Nebraska is playing, it's night and day than what that team that you saw out there in week 0. Not even close.
Star Trek Elysium, Mark, Ohio State aside. Go. I'll put them aside, but I'm going to include them after I put them aside because you asked me to. Do you think Nebraska will win out? First of all, I'll go on record as saying I believe Ohio State's the best team on the schedule the rest of the way. I think Iowa's playing the best, and I think Iowa has had the best season to date, but I still believe in Ohio State talent. So I think Ohio State's the best team on the schedule the rest of the way, but Ohio State and Iowa are both tremendous teams, legitimate top 5 to 10 teams in the country. But I do believe that Nebraska has, and I'm not talking about a puncher's chance, I think that they have a legitimate chance to beat Ohio State. Whatever that is, 30%, I don't know, something in that range in my estimation. Is that some kind of mathematical formula? No, I'm just guesstimating that I would give Nebraska about a 30% chance of winning that game. Now, I do believe that I'm right there with Greg on the next 2 games being almost must wins.
You don't want to have to look back at one of these 2 games and say that's what cost you making a bowl game. Just put it that way.
Yeah, they're better than these 2 teams. I don't think they're substantially better, but I think they're better. Mm-hmm. And I think Purdue and Minnesota are capable teams. They're decent teams. They're bowl teams as well. Probably fringe bowl teams. They're going to be right on the cusp too. Purdue and Minnesota are right now 3-2. They're probably going to be fighting for a bowl near the end of the year. So they're those type teams as well. Wisconsin's got to find an offense. They've not generated offense. Nebraska's playing better football than Wisconsin right now. And again, Iowa and Ohio State. So they basically need to beat, they could beat, even if they lose to Iowa and Ohio State, go 3-2 and make it. But can they win out? Sure, they can win out.
I'll put it this way that I think we've mentioned it before, but this team believes that they can beat Ohio State. They believe that. They have not believed that for several years. I mean, going back before Scott Frost was even here. Um, I don't think I've seen a Nebraska team believe that they were good enough to beat Ohio State since Bo Pelini was the head coach. So I think that's a big difference with what you see, and that's what you've been seeing on the field. That these guys believe in themselves, and they believe that they're good, and I think good things are going to happen to them. When you keep thinking that way, good things are going to happen to you sooner or later. You can't keep losing in this fashion. It's just cruel.
It is rough. It is rough. 0-9, I believe, Scott Frost against ranked teams, and then also the one-score losses lead the country. Since he stepped on campus, Nebraska is the most one-score losses of anybody in the country. And it reminds me of a question that I would have liked to have asked Josh Banderas when he was on the show, because he mentioned when I asked him the question, who is the best team that you've been on a field with? He said 2016 Ohio State.
Yeah.
And I would have liked to have asked him if he believed they were going to win that game when he stepped on the field.
Well, we'll have to wait until after the season because he's a little bit busy on that Oregon State staff right now. So he actually was back in town this Saturday. I did see him on the sidelines Saturday.
Nice.
So, but yeah, he's working on his own career right now. But he'll be back. Off season he'll be back around. So we'll get him back on our airwaves.
Nice. And that Oregon State team may make a bowl game. They are now 4-2.
Yeah.